Hi, I'm on my way out the door, but I have a few minutes, so I'm going to try to get this video uploaded. This is part 3 of my gluten-free video. I did part 1. I've already filmed part 3, and I have to redo it, and you'll know why right now. I have to do a big disclaimer. I misspoke. Not like a politician. I really didn't mean to misspeak. Wheat, as far as I've found out through a little more research, has not been genetically modified, but it has been altered over and over and over again to where it's not the same wheat it used to be. But it is not a GMO food as far as the official government list. There is some murmurings in the middle of the United States that someone has found some GMO wheat that hasn't been approved. I don't know about all that, but I do know that the official list of like corn and I think soy, those things are on there as GMO. There are others, but not wheat. So even though I called it a GMO, that's not right. It is an altered, it's been altered, but greatly altered. That is why a lot of us are having problems with it. The other thing I felt like I didn't do well is explain what we do eat. So I talked about the crackers, I talked about pirate booty, I talked about you just don't eat things with gluten in it. And there are other words for gluten, so learn those and look for them on labels if you're interested in doing this. And yes, my bangs are too long. But one thing that, it was hard at first. In the very beginning, it was a little bit difficult. But we got a few things that were fun. Now this we've not even made yet, so I can't recommend it yes or no, but it's gluten-free cake mix from Duncan Hines. We tried the Betty Crocker. We tried the Betty Crocker gluten-free brownie mix to die for. They taste just like brownies, if not better. The only thing is it makes a small batch. It's like $4 for a box, and they dry out really, really quickly. You almost have to eat the whole thing or freeze part of them as soon as you make them because they will be dry by the next morning. So my husband and I really, really enjoyed those. And $4 is ridiculous for a box of tiny servings of brownies. But if you're only doing it once a month or something and you really want something sweet and you make it right then and you bake it and then it's fine. It might be worth it for you. Now you can have dark chocolate and all kind of other things, but as far as a baked good, there are baked goods. There are a few out there that are gluten-free. We've just not tried hardly any of them, so I can't talk about them. Someone asked me, well, what do you eat for lunch? Well, my husband normally cooks at night. He loves to cook. And no, I wouldn't say he loves to cook, but he gets hungrier than me, so he'll go start cooking. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'm doing something anyway. But anyway, he'll cook enough for 4 because there's 4 people living here right now. But the 2 younger ones, my son who's living here temporarily and my daughter who's still here, just graduated high school, you never know if they're going to eat at home or not. So most nights, it's just my husband and I, and then we eat our gluten-free dinner. We eat the leftovers for lunch. If there's no leftovers, I will have some of those crackers I showed you in part 2, some cut up cheese, maybe some salami, like hard salami, or some fruit or something like that. If I want breakfast, I'll make myself a smoothie with almond milk. Another thing, okay, brownie mix, I wrote this down. Oh, another thing that we've tried is the Bisquick gluten-free mix. It comes in a box almost smaller than this. It's $4 or $5. But my mom, and we were Bisquick nuts around here. We love Bisquick. We like Bisquick pancakes, Bisquick waffles, Bisquick coating on things. There's a Bisquick chicken I make all the time. There's a Bisquick coffee cake that we we love it. It's so yummy. It's so good. Okay, can't make that anymore. But we bought the Bisquick, gluten-free Bisquick, and it made great pancakes. It made really good waffles. My mom took the Bisquick the other night, the gluten-free Bisquick, and she tossed some chicken tenders in it from Costco and fried, did she fry it? She fried it in something. I don't know, but it was like having gluten-free fried chicken, which none of us eat fried chicken very often, but oh, yummy. It was just as good, if not better, than flour on it, the gluten-free Bisquick. It was fantastic. So I can kind of recommend the gluten-free Bisquick if you want it. Now, all these things, again, are occasional things, you know. If we had waffles every day, I couldn't afford to buy the tiny box of $5 Bisquick, you know. So that's how that goes. Okay, making sure, oh, and sometimes the other thing you can do is think outside of the box. Like the other day, Scott wanted to bake some chicken. And we usually, there's a recipe on the Bisquick website where you coat the chicken in Bisquick and you melt a little butter in the bottom of the pan and you put it in the pan and you bake it. And over time, the butter pops and bubbles and creates a coating with the Bisquick that's on the chicken, and it's so yummy. Well, we didn't have any gluten-free Bisquick the other night, so he just covered our chicken with Parmesan cheese instead. It was so good, and just baked it in the oven in a little bit of butter in the bottom of the glass pan, you know. It was fantastic. So there are lots of ways to think outside of the box and get your gluten-free meal to be just as good, if not better in many cases. Now the results, the part that a lot of people are really anxious to hear. Okay, before gluten-free time in back October, I am so mixed up. Back in October when I went gluten-free, I told you I did it as just a matter of solidarity with my family. However, at that time, I'm just telling you as a side note, and this is probably TMI, but I was having stomach aches constantly, almost after every meal. My stomach would get really hard. Like, you know when you're 9 months pregnant and you can bounce a ball off your stomach? That's how mine kind of started feeling. It was bloated. Ugh, so bloated. So bloated that sometimes my clothes wouldn't fit right. My pants, my jeans wouldn't fit. It was tight because it was just bloated and hard and gross. I had gained weight as well. So all of that probably worked together to make me miserable, but I had gained weight. I was about 6 pounds over my happy weight. And when you're 5'1" and you have a very petite frame, see, tiny frame, 6 pounds is huge. It's a lot of weight and it throws your whole body off. I had also noticed before I went gluten-free that my back was starting to look fat. Okay, it might have just been a case, I'm sorry, I'm uncomfortable. I'm sorry. It might have just been a case of the weight getting in my back too. But one day I turned around and I saw myself in the mirror and I had a t-shirt on that I had worn for a couple of years and you could see my bra. Like you could see the outline of my bra. Like it was gross. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've gained weight in my back? That's so weird. I've heard of back fat. I was getting it. And all this I was chalking up to hormones, change of life, all those things. That's what I attributed everything to, okay? So, bloating. Oh, I was in pain a lot. I told you that. I was in so much pain after dinner at night. It was awful. And I thought it was dairy. I went off dairy. It still happened. So I wasn't sure what was going on, but I never for one moment thought about gluten, okay? So, we go gluten-free. 1st of October. I didn't notice any differences for like a month. Nothing. Well, one day, 1st of November, I don't remember what I put on, something I hadn't worn in a while, and it felt so good. It fit like it originally did, if not better, and I thought, I think I've lost weight. And I didn't do this to lose weight, and so I hadn't been weighing to check my progress, right? But the book did say a lot of people lose weight. I went and weighed, and I had lost 6 pounds. 6 pounds, okay? And I was at my goal weight. I had not dieted 1 second the entire time I was on this gluten-free thing. No dieting. I was eating whatever I wanted of anything without gluten. And I lost 6 pounds. And let me tell you, for those of you that have the last 5 to 10 pounds to lose, that's always the hardest. It just sometimes won't budge. That's how I was. It was gone. It's like it just fell off. It was amazing. So I was thinking, 6 pounds? I've lost 6 pounds? Oh my gosh, this is so great. And the more I started thinking about it, all of a sudden I thought, I'm not having those stomach aches anymore. And then I looked down and my stomach was flat. Now, not flat, not pre-baby fat, bleh, not pre-baby flat, but flat enough that I was so shocked and amazed The stomach was not hard. It was a little flabby, but it was flat. It wasn't hanging over my jeans. You know, we talked about that in the first video about all these girls with all this stuff hanging over their jeans. It wasn't hanging over my jeans anymore. And I had low cut jeans on. So you know, that's really bad when that stuff hangs over. So a couple of more weeks went by. I weighed again. I lost 2 more pounds. No, I'd lost another pound. 2 more weeks went by, another. I weighed today, and as of today, I'm at 8 pounds plus a tiny bit. 8 pounds. And none of that original, it's not coming back. It's just gone. And I've noticed, I looked in the mirror, I looked at my back. It was all like thin again, like I can't describe it, but I feel like I was turning into an old lady in my body, you know, my body shape. And I was not liking that. I mean, I can accept wrinkles because there's nothing you can do about that. But if you can, and your body does change shape after you have children, but does it have to do it again? I don't know. I'm beginning to wonder because I have quite a few friends that have gone through menopause, that are in their 60s, and they are thin and they don't look like old ladies. So it's possible. It's possible. I don't think it would have been for me though without the gluten-free. Okay. So that's the big 2 changes where the bloating was gone, the body shape was better, and the pain was gone, and I lost 8 pounds. Now here's the most unusual thing that happened that I was not expecting, and I just wasn't expecting it. I was a complete carb addict. I was so hooked on carbs, it was out of control. I would eat crackers and chips and things like that, just shoveling them in every day. I mean, if there was a stack of Ritz crackers, I might eat the whole thing. Literally, the whole thing. Now, maybe not, maybe 3/4, but a lot of crackers. I would eat Wheat Thins. I put them in a big bowl, like a big bowl of Wheat Thins. And I just sit there and eat Wheat Thins, and then I eat a little cheese, you know, to get my calcium in. And then I keep eating the Wheat Thins. I was out of control with that. Plus, I figured out I was eating 3 to 4 slices of whole wheat bread every single day. I would have 1 to 2 for breakfast, and you just toast. That's all I had for breakfast. And then I would always have a sandwich for lunch. So that's usually 4 slices of whole wheat bread a day. Plus, I might have a little French bread with dinner. I was a breadaholic. I was a carbaholic. I wasn't into sugar, but all that stuff turns into sugar in your body. So, where was I going? Oh! All those cravings are completely gone. I can walk past crackers. There's chips that have been in my pantry for a week. Usually my son and I polish that bag off quick. Well, it was a lot me because it's still in there. I'm telling you, I walked away from a Krispy Kreme donut the other day. Never has a donut passed me by that I didn't eat 1 or 2 of. I wanted the Krispy Kreme, and then when I walked away, I didn't want it. And then the next morning, there was a few left. I didn't want them the next morning either. It's unbelievable, the cravings that are gone. Absolutely unbelievable. I did not expect that to be a side effect or a bonus of going gluten-free, but that's what, and I know that's what this has done for me. I know it was the gluten thing. Not the gluten, but the wheat addiction I had to wheat type things. There are my results. I think they're quite staggering. Maybe because I didn't expect them and I didn't go into this because of those reasons. So they were more or less a surprise. So that's it for my going gluten-free series. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you're thinking about it, I tell you to give it a shot, but you're going to have to give it like a 6 weeks shot before you might see differences. Maybe a month, maybe 6 weeks. And then you might be really, really surprised. Oh, and another thing, this 8 pounds that I lost, not 1 second have I exercised since October. I'm just throwing that out there. It was not exercise that made that weight go off. It was not yoga that made my body slim down and my back look better. None of it. It was nothing but going gluten-free. So that's it. Talk to you later. Bye.